Aries, I'm Chris. Welcome to your November reading. So, Aries, how have you been dealing with this Scorpio season? My sense is that for like all of the fire signs, because I'm doing these readings this month by element, so I'm wrapping them up with the fire signs. But I'm having a sense with all the fire signs that it's been a little tough. The Scorpio energy, I think, all water sign energy is difficult for fire signs, but I think especially Scorpio, because of how deep it can get, because of how dark it can get. Fire signs are used to warmth, used to light. It can get a little tricky. But we have to remember that in that darkness is where we find healing, where we find a closer connection to ourselves, to our purpose, to what we love, to what kind of relationships we want. This is the same thing that Leo started off with, the world. For Leo, though, it was about closing chapter, starting a new one. To me, Aries, this is a lot of desire. This is like, you've got your eye on the prize. Coming into November, the beginning of November, it's like you have all these wants, all these needs, all these things that maybe like you wanted to tend to about yourself, things that you wanted to bring into creation, that you wanted to birth into reality, that have been kind of sitting around and marinating for a long time. And you remember last time we talked about how Aries might be feeling a little lonely? I think that what happened in this time of darkness, in this time of feeling maybe a little isolated or alone, is that Aries really found themselves. Aries, I think, is coming into this month with this feeling of like the glory of the self. Wanting to just flex on everybody and say, you know what, fuck it. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be the best me I can get. I'm gonna be like this angel standing by myself on top of the world, just waiting for bounty to come my way, ready to start fresh and go into the rest of this year and into 2019, just manifesting my ass off, getting all the things I've desired, having this well-rounded, full life. It's like this ambitious energy, the Page of Wands. Starting maybe in a way that's going to feel a little new, in a way that's going to feel maybe a little unpolished. But the important thing here, Aries, is that you're starting. The important thing here is that you're learning how to do the thing you want to do really well. You're learning how to pick better in relationships. You're learning what you don't want to do for a living and what you maybe are a little more drawn to. Page of Wands is, it's almost like a moth to a flame kind of energy, right? And that's how I feel a lot of the times with the court cards of the wand suit, is that there's this sort of magnetism. There's almost this like warmth finding warmth, being attracted to itself in a weird way, right? It's immature energy, but that doesn't mean that you're acting immature. It just means that you have to give yourself space to take time to get the things that you want. You have to give yourself space to make mistakes. You have to give yourself like an allowance to let yourself learn, to let yourself practice, to work at it. 8 of Pentacles. To let your passions follow your bliss, right, Aries? Your passions to kind of guide you towards what you need to be creating right now, where your energy is really necessary, where it's needed. The great thing about like having time, if you had been feeling lonely or alone, and now maybe newly motivated to move forward, The good thing about that kind of space and time is it clears your head, it clears your energy. This is that fuck it, the Ten of Swords, right? This is the sort of like, throw caution to the wind, devil may care, whatever it takes. I'm not going to sit in this anymore. You're working your way out of what may have been a really dark place of anxiety and worry and fear and isolation and loneliness. Of feeling like you just can't win sometimes. But I have to call back my attention to these cards, particularly Aries, because I think what is already one of the central themes of the reading is that you have to do the work. The personal work, right? The personal work to get yourself to a point where, like, the things in your head that might have been making you crazy and, like, you know, feeling like you have all these different things pulling you in all these different directions, you know, making you feel all wacky, controlling that, getting those voices to subside, right? Having the voice of, like, your true self, your highest desires, like, speaking more clearly than anything else. And there's a sense here of also emotional work, right? Overcoming darkness, overcoming defeat, or feelings of defeatedness. We're not looking at any, like, water cards here, but to me, there's still an underlying emotional, like, reality that kind of needed to be faced and healed, right? We're in Venus retrograde. It's turning direct in a couple of days, in like 2 weeks rather. A week and a half from today. During this retrograde, going through the signs of Scorpio then into Libra, we're really, like, digging down into what gives our life meaning, what gives it purpose, what fills it with, like, love, what nourishes us, and what, like, takes away and makes things, like, heavy and difficult. Bottom of the deck, Page of Cups. As I was saying, there was no water in this reading yet, but do you see underlying it all is this desire for emotional abundance, desire for love, desire for feeling good, for feeling connected, for feeling like you're on the right track in life, like that the universe is abundant, like experiencing the abundance of the universe. You might have been hearing a lot of people tell you about how abundant the universe is, and now you like really want to experience it firsthand. Aries, I think that you're going to have to just put yourself out there this month in new ways. If you're dating and looking for, like, try dating different kinds of people or looking different places, right? If your job feels stagnant and like maybe something that you've been working on isn't taking off, trying new things. There's just a sense here of exploration. We have Jupiter moving into Sagittarius. Real fired up energy to put yourself out there, to explore, to try to reach new heights, to be optimistic, to receive abundance and bounty. Scorpio season is transforming you. Out with the old. See, like, this is what I was saying about the fire signs. These 3 cards, I shuffled a lot. These 3 cards came up in the Leo reading too. Out of 5, 3 of the cards are the same. There's a similarity between you know, how fire energy handles this watery, dark time of the year. But with death, it's like a preparation. Isn't it so nice to see death come after the Ten of Swords? Because what this says is, like, this shit is not going to stand anymore. I think that there might, what I feel when I see this is like, you might have had a lot of different voices in your head. Pulled in a lot of different directions. Maybe you had a lot of different people telling you like what you should be doing, how you should be doing it. Maybe not being super supportive. And we're saying, shut the fuck up to all those voices. You don't know me. You don't know my life. Like, girl, bye. I mean, hey, right now, again, we're Venus retrograde in Libra. Relationships. What is worth keeping around and what isn't is under review right now. And when the Venus turns direct, man, I swear, this period for me has been like a time of cleansing, of releasing of old relationships that didn't really work anymore, that were painful. And what you find on the other side of it is self-worth. Six of Pentacles, stability, balance, generosity, giving off your light. Sagittarius time, man, I swear, I think that for you guys, it's going to be really invigorating. And we also have Uranus going retrograde back into your sign. And while it's retrograde in your sign, I think there might be a lot of buildup of emotions. Like, almost like I think of it as like a rebel without a cause kind of thing. Like, you just want to fight, you just need to move, you just need to, you know, get out there, but like you don't really quite have direction or purpose. Page of Wands place, right? But I think ultimately it's going to be invigorating for you, right? I think it's going to jumpstart your system. Full moon, illumination of the self, right? We have a full moon in Gemini coming up at the end of the month. Going to make things a little more lighthearted. Going to highlight self-expression. Who are you, Aries? What has the last few months, what have the last few years taught you about who you are? And what you have to offer, what gifts you have to offer, what talents, what you know, fucking charm. Sorry I'm cursing a lot in this video. But, you know, of all the videos to swear a lot, I don't think Aries it's that off to be doing it in this one. Because I'm connecting with that energy real hard. Aries. But no, really, it's bounty. It's completion, guys. It's really just like the way things have been are just not acceptable anymore. That's what I was saying when I was talking about worth, right? That's what worth does for you. It makes you realize what you won't stand for, what you deserve. What you deserve. What doesn't fit? Like, when you feel self-worth, I'm looking at this card and feeling disgusted. Because so much of this feeling is like self-defeat. Even if it is at the hands of other people, it's like allowing it to happen. Allowing yourself to internalize things that you have no business internalizing. And this month, those things are going to become clear. I feel almost like, usually this is something I would think of with the sun card, but with this full moon card, I just feel like nothing can hide in this light. It illuminates like the sun does, right? But it also penetrates like into the deeper parts of us. party. 3 of Cups, fun. Celebration is what I want to say, right? Festivities. Being close to people you care about, meeting new people. This is that Aries spirit. This is why people love to party with y'all. This is why you have so many friends. Because you're fun. But it's very much directly connected to, Aries, the work you're doing. It's very connected to the meaning. This balance is really positive. Because sometimes Aries has a tendency to be a little escapist, to indulge in like cheap thrills. But this balance here means that the things you're celebrating, the fun you're having, actually comes from purpose, comes from accomplishments, comes from finding meaning in your life, and now there's a joy that emanates from you. It's not, whether you drink or not, just stick with the metaphor for a second. It's not drinking to drown your troubles. It's drinking to celebrate life, celebrate your accomplishments. You're not popping bottles because you need to show off and prove your worth. You're popping bottles because you know your worth. And you've worked hard, and you've gained a lot, and you've been through a lot, and you've transformed, and you've learned, and you've grown, and you've matured. So now, there's a little play at hand. And if you're not a person who likes to go out or whatever, just take that for what it means to you. For what it means to kick back, for what it means to celebrate, to have fun, to indulge in festivities. Passion. Joy, right? This is what happens, all of this is what happens when we get into Sag season, when Venus goes direct in Libra. The struggles, the search for meaning, the difficult choices we have to make, the things we have to let go of. Now, the heaviness, the burden, the dark stuff that we've had to look at and face, now puts us in a place where we can be successful, where we can have everything we want. Our dreams can be granted, right? Can come to reality. Connection. So Aries, big month ahead. Be gentle with yourself. I think you have to know, right? Be very, very gentle with yourself. Look at this Page of Wands as your inner child. This is you and what you're going through, but it's something that needs to be cared for and guided and nurtured. That's almost by definition, one of the things that's said about the Page of Wands. He needs to be directed. He can get lost very easily. Care for yourself. Create energetic boundaries, Aries. Not out of, anger or hatred or fear or pain, but out of self-preservation. You're the sign that teaches us the power of the individuality, the power of the ego to fulfill us. Here's that Uranus energy, right? Uranus rules the Fool. It's expansive. It's exploratory. It's ready to move forward. Take chances, right? More than anything, though, when I'm looking at this, it's an optimism. I love that this came up just as I was talking about how the energy of Uranus in your sign is going to jumpstart your energy. And then we have the card that's ruled by it. Gusto. Optimism, hope, faith. Trusting in yourself. Trusting in your instincts, trusting in your individuality. Now this fell beneath this card. So what I'm seeing here is sort of trusting in yourself over whatever else might have been in your head. Whatever doubts, whatever shit you grew up with, whatever was holding you down and making you crazy. This fool is kind of like a la 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 la. I can't hear you, la 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 la. Just like, don't walk off the cliff. Like, do keep your eyes open, Aries. Don't get like too wild. Don't just start like cutting people out to be a dick. Cause you're mad and you just want to like hurt somebody, right? But there's a feeling of brand newness. There's a feeling of like your life completely, like what's ahead of you is something you've never seen before. Look at what I've noticed, like a similarity almost between these two cards. What happens when you just let yourself be fresh, be new, be innocent, be a little foolish maybe, right? But with an adventurous spirit. This card is said by some people to be ruled by Aries. What I know about tarot correspondences is that's not quite traditionally what it's associated with. However, you can see why it would be, right? That go-getter spirit, that initiatory energy, right? The thing that just says, fuck it, I'm going. I'm gonna do this. So there's almost a sense of like Aries finding power through this release, through the heaviness that's happened, and then the joy that comes afterwards. There's an invigoration of the spirit, of the Aries spirit. This end of the year, guys, is going to be really good. It's going to be really good for everybody, right? What we're doing really is wrapping up all the hardships that we've been through and sort of neatly tying things up. And then going into the new year, like ready to just live our best lives. But right now, this part of the year is about processing. And then Aries. Better times ahead. Release of the things that have been bogging you down. Movement away, I was going to say, from people. It's funny the way I'm doing this spread because I'm kind of just like, not doing a spread, I'm just laying cards out, but I've noticed a lot that the cards, like, I'll show you how it looks here. The cards on the top row kind of often are mirroring like what's going on the bottom row. Yes, that's the 10 of Cups at the bottom of the deck. But do you see how there's almost like this connection here, specifically what I was looking at? This double whammy of release, of moving on, of letting go of the old, out with the old, in with the new. Nah, I mean. So Aries, I think what has to be done is just kind of getting out of your own way. I think your instincts this month are telling you exactly what needs to be done. And now it's like you have the balls to do it. Seriously. You have the energy is coming back to you. Because you're protecting your energy now. Because you're recognizing the way that other people can kind of fuck with your energy. Make you feel less than, make you feel smaller. Make you feel not good enough, make you feel like that you have to doubt yourself. Like that just being yourself and who you are is somehow in some way wrong. Or like not good. underneath it all, a yearning for family, a yearning for connection and love and joy. Aries, you want happiness. You want it all. You want the comfort. You want the stability. Of love and happiness. And what's standing in your way? Anxiety and worry and fear about the future. And almost I think what the Fool is asking us to do is not even think about the future that much. Not to say like, you know, act all reckless and stupid, but just like there's almost maybe a potential here of overthinking. Right? Overthinking. Day by day, Aries, day by day. Moment by moment. Little accomplishment by accomplishment. And you're not quite becoming the King of Wands yet, or the Queen of Wands, but this is the start of your journey. We're going to pull a rune card to see what you can do going forward here. This is the rune Aries. It represents death. Very similar to the Death card in certain ways. It's about release. It's about what's next. It's about power. But like power to affect change, power to make things happen, to make your will manifest. But there is a dark element here, but also light in the darkness. And Aries, it's like this month you are that light in your own darkness, right? When you're in Scorpio season, when you're under the rocks, when you're in like the darkness, in the depths of things, that's when you learn how to be your own light. There might be some endings in the rest of 2018 that, you know, give you a fresh start in 2019. There might be some relationships ending. There could be some jobs ending. There's just like, but there's movement, right? See the arrow, the way it's pointed up, the bow and arrow, it's almost like Sagittarius optimism. It's almost like the next frontiers, right? As much as there's death on this side, with this person hanging, there's also this archer like shooting into the sky on the other side. The promise of like, what kind of good can come from this like harsher, darker time. Okay, Aries. In the description, links for private readings. My website is still a work in progress, so I'm still doing things through Etsy, so you can purchase a reading there if you'd like. I have a link for my PayPal if you guys watch my channel and you like to support it. Any little bit helps, and I greatly, greatly appreciate it and love you a long time for that. Instagram below as well. Follow me there. Descriptions of the cards I'm using there as well. Aries, you know, this month is a transformative one. It's a kick in the ass month. It's the universe is almost like saying we've been trying you, and we've been pushing you, and we've been pushing you, and we've been pushing you, and we've been putting obstacles in your way and challenging you and challenging you. So now, like, show us what you've learned. Are you gonna sulk and think like, oh, poor me, like, why do all these things happen to me? Or are you gonna realize that it's made you stronger? Are you gonna create meaning out of what's, like, out of your suffering, out of the pain you've been through, out of the hard times you've been through? The universe is now like, show me what you got, Aries. And you know you don't back down from a fight, right? Or from a challenge, right? No. Okay, Aries, I love you forever. Have an amazing month. There's a lot of work to do, but it's going to be very rewarding. And by the end of the month, you're just going to feel so much lighter. I love you guys. You take care.